Alrighty, just pulled up to the tournament. Hopefully we can cash in. Playing the 1500 monster stack today. Super deep. It's like 4 o'clock now. We're gonna just late reg. Late reg is actually open until 10 o'clock. It's a freeze out style, so you only get one crack at this thing. Decided to come a little late. Let's see how it goes. Keep you guys posted. Hopefully we can run deep. Who knows? Welcome back, folks, to yet another episode. It's an absolute pleasure having you folks here today. Today we have a fun episode. This is day 1B of the Monster Stack, which is a $1,500 buy-in freeze-out event, which means you get one go. There's no re-entry. There's no rebuys. You have one go, you bust, you're out. Pack your bags and get home. One thing I will mention before we get into today's video is that I have partnered up with Raise Your Edge. A lot of people have been asking, what size do I use? What do I do? And this is it. This is what I've been studying to get prepped for the World Series of Poker over the last several months. And yeah, I'm starting to work with them. Ben CB is someone I've spoken to personally, somebody I've looked up to personally in the poker space, and the fact that I get to work with somebody like this and the brand that he's created is pretty unbelievable. So if you guys are interested at all in learning more about Raise Your Edge, there's a ton of free content on YouTube. Not only that, you guys can also go and check out some of their paid content that I promise you will change the way you play tournament poker. Everyone thinks they know everything until you just realize that you don't. So there's a link down in the description below. They're running several huge discounts right now with the World Series of Poker around. So if you're interested in that, make sure to check it out. Otherwise, enjoy the episode today. It's going to be an absolute banger of a video. Tournament poker, baby. It's put in a whole new love for poker that I forgot I had, since with COVID, I haven't played tournaments in 2 years now, it feels like. So enjoy the episode. End of the first, well, that's the first break for us, but I think like the second or third break for the tournament. We're at level 7 or 8 now. Can't even remember. But we have one reasonable hand to report. That's pretty fun. I think you guys are going to enjoy. Anyways, we're at the level 7, if I'm not mistaken. The big blind is 800, $400 small blind, $800 big blind ante. The cutoff decides to open at $2,000 or chips, whatever you guys prefer me to say. And the small blind calls. I looked on a Jack 6 of diamonds. I'm going to go ahead and be defending here. Not a great hand, but it is suited. And for that price, as you guys know, can be folding big blinds. Anyways, the flop is 8-5-3 with 1 diamond. So pretty nice little flop for us to do something a little out of the ordinary. We're going to go ahead and use this as a lead. Against the cutoff, he will be a little wider, but this is definitely a board that's going to favor myself and the small blind significantly more than the initial raiser. I'm going to have a ton of the value hands. I think you guys already know this. All the sets, as well as all the 2 pairs, all the straight draws for bluffs. And then in this instance, I have a double backdoor, so backdoor straight and backdoor flush draw hand. That's going to lead out here. I bet 2,700 chips. The initial raiser makes the call, and the small blind folds. The turn is the bingo, bango, bongo of all cards. It's the 4 of diamonds. So that brings not only the open-ended straight draw, but a flush draw for us. This card is way too good not to go huge here. My intention was to go kind of small, around 4,400, if the turn didn't improve us or add equity. But since this gave us a ton of equity, we're going to bomb it. I bet 16,000 chips, leaving myself about 23,000 behind. And the opponent has me covered. So I'm kind of showing to him that I'm looking to get my stack in the middle, if not on this street, on the next street. He thinks about it for some time and decides to fold. Just going to briefly touch on what my bet is accomplishing. I'm going to be putting the pressure on him. He's going to have to fold hands like 10s and jacks in this situation, just because the board is significantly in favor of my range as opposed to his. A lot of times he's going to be drawing dead to straights, as well as sets and 2 pairs, and instances where he has ace-king high, ace-queen high, and overpairs to the board. So happy we took that one down. We're enjoying break now. Probably gonna go inside and just chill until then. Keep you guys updated. Alrighty, as you guys can see, just went on to dinner break. There's only one hand to report, I think, and it was pretty interesting. UTG limps, older gentleman, nice guy actually, limps at 1,000 big blind, and we isolate to 3,500 with pocket jacks. Folds back over to him, and he decides to think about it for a while before repopping it to 13K. Obvious fold here. I've seen this too many times. I fold face up, and he's kind enough to show pocket aces, so you know, won't complain about taking that hand down. But that's pretty much it. We kind of went on the last break with 56, went on this break with 53, pretty much the same thing. So let's see if we can't run a little better. I'm excited, you know, hoping for some run good for sure, at the very least. Alrighty, so let's get into the very first hand of note. We're currently playing the level 10, which I believe is the 2K big blind level with the 2K big blind ante and 1K small blind. Middle position, who's a fun, really like this guy actually, he's a character. He decides to open a 4,300. We look down at 8, 9 of clubs. Pretty interesting little spot here. I have 37.5K, just under 20 big blinds. I decided to play this a little more aggressively. I think his opening is going to be a little bit on the looser side. And I also think he's overfolding because he's shown a propensity to do so. Taking some more chips here would be a great spot, but if we get lucky, that's also good too, if he makes the call. Anyways, we go ahead and jam 37.5K. Folds all the way back to him. He shows us ace jack of diamonds and says call. So, gonna need to get lucky. The flop comes the opposite of lucky. 5, 6, queen with 2 diamonds. So not a great flop for us. We're gonna need a ton of help here. The turn, it's a pretty bad card. It's the jack of clubs. So he makes a pair here, looking for a gut shot on the river, and the river does not give us the gut shot. It's an ace of clubs. I start walking away from the table when I realize people are telling me, where the hell are you going, buddy? I'm like, I just lost a hand. They're like, no, you didn't. Thought they were joking, but I had flush. I totally forgot I had clubs there, so we'll take it down and we're off to the next hand.
5. How much?
37,800.
Give me that. Give me that. 38.
On the very next hand, literally could not make this up. Under the gun +1, which is a very tight player, has been limping aces and stuff. Is the guy that I folded the limped aces, re-raised when I had jacks or whatever. He opens here to 4,500. We look down at ace queen, too strong to fold, but with his kind of weird mannerisms, I'm just gonna call here a little exploitative, but it is what it is. Folds all the way to the cutoff, who decides to jam 25,300 into the middle. Our friend under the gun +1 goes deep into the tank and decides to fold. We're never folding here. We've got some video. Let's roll it.
He hasn't pushed. He has a good hand. It has to be. Oh my god.
Cards don't matter. It's going to be runner, right?
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, right?
Ace queen. 8. Yeah, ace queen.
We got it.
Ace play.
Great situation for us. The board runs out queen high. Can't ask for a better run of luck. Our opponent showed king queen offsuit, so we had him dominated and we win a huge pot there. Let's go. Alrighty, so we have one more interesting hand from that level of action. So everything's totally changed here. Not a lot to report earlier in the day. Playing very slow and conservative, considering my table draw is pretty great and there's no reason to really push the envelope. I think for the most part I've been playing pretty, you know, snug and just trying not to bloat any pots out of position against really tight players pre-flop. Under the gun decides to open here to 4,000 chips. I go ahead and make the call with pocket 5s for middle position. Everyone else folds. The flop is queen 3 rainbow. Opposition down bets to 3,000. We're gonna go ahead and make the call and evaluate. The turn comes a 9 of clubs, which brings in that backdoor flush draw. He goes ahead and bets one more time, 6,200 to go. Pretty interesting pot sizing here for sure. I'm gonna go ahead and think it over a little bit and decide that it's still a little too early to make the fold. There's backdoor flush draw and straight draws out there, so I don't want to fold just yet. His entire range will make up bluffs, a a few middling pairs, over pairs, and a ton of draws that are going to be double barreling. Ace king of clubs, ace jack of clubs, jack 10 of clubs, jack 10 offsuit. Ton of hands going to be double barreling this board. Anyways, the river comes a 4 of hearts. For a second I thought it was a 5. He decides to bet one more time, 7,500 chips. Such a small bet, I don't think I can find a fold. After a huge amount of tanking, I decide to put the hero's cape on. I make a big call here. He shows his ace jack offsuit, and we show our hand, and it's the winner. Huge pot there, sitting on 130K at this break. Let's see how far we can run up. Last hour level, and then we're done for the night. Let's make it a day 2. Let's bag, let's tag. I'll let you guys know if there's more hands to report. So, got home. Unfortunately, I am going to be wrapping up the session here from my cell phone. But anyways, a couple of hands to go over, so let's do that now. We're currently at level 11, which is the last level of the day. About 30 minutes left in play when the short stack, who have already doubled up when he had less than 1 big blind, decides to jam in his stack. He spun it from 1,000 to 23,500. We look down at king queen offsuit in middle position. Not going to be folding this hand for what is about 9 big blinds. So we decide to make the call. Folds all the way around, so we're heads up here. He shows 9-7 of spades, and we have king queen here. The flop comes ace 4-4. The turn is another ace, and the river's a queen. We go ahead and ship a very massive pot, well over 50,000 in that pot, to help us go into the right direction. See if we can keep this momentum to finish off the night. If you folks are enjoying the content, and only if you are, it would mean the world to me if you guys drop a like for these crazy deep World Series of Poker tournament runs. I'm gonna get a bracelet for the community. I got us, fam. Let's do this. We're getting down to the last few hands of the night. There's actually 6 more hands to be played. We've played 3 so far when Under the Gun decides to raising to 6,000 chips. It folds to me. I'm 2 to her left. I decide to think about it when I look down at king queen offsuit once again. During this part of the night, she has a really big stack nearing 300,000 chips, and I'm sitting on around 120,000-ish, somewhere in that range. Taking down a pot here will be pretty massive, and I think people usually tend to play either really tight or a little more passive when it gets to this point of the night. I'm going to go ahead and take my chance here, so I decide to raise. I raise to 20,000 chips, looking to isolate at the very minimum, but at the best case scenario, we get her to fold pre-flop. Folds all the way back to her. She thinks about it for some time and decides on a fold. She tells us that she had ace 10 of diamonds, so happy to get that hand out of the way. Don't have to play anything post-flop. And we finished today with 143,000 chips going to 3K big blind tomorrow. Just want to go ahead and thank everybody for coming down and supporting the video as always. Today's episode was pretty freaking gnarly. Ton of really crazy spots, and obviously it's pretty great to suck out in a pretty meaningful spot in a tournament. Either way, we booked ourselves a trip to day 2, and we have ourselves a date with Destiny. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. We have a ton more like this to come. Again, check the Raise Your Edge down below if you guys are interested. And if not, make sure to check us out on Instagram, Close to Broke. And if you guys like these different styles of editing that I'm doing, so I have a different overlay as you guys saw, let me know which one you guys prefer for the tournament side of the poker vlog. Thank you guys again for watching. Get ready for day 2 because we have so much more in store. So much more.